Susan Rice, former President Obama's key advisor, is heading up the operation of tasking our federal agencies to actually get votes from illegal immigrants.
Are you saying you have proof that the Democrats are trying to recruit illegals, migrants, to vote in our presidential election? Is that what you just said?
There is a memo from Susan Rice that says we've got to figure out how we're going to get these illegal immigrants. It's going to be challenging to teach them how to make sure we get their votes in the ballot. They don't say whether they're going to make them citizens first or not.
Well, that was a pretty stunning remark from New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney with me on Mornings with Maria on Fox Business, apparently referring to President Biden's 2021 executive order, which put former Obama advisor Susan Rice in charge of promoting voter registration within the federal agencies. Now, it should be noted that the order does not allow illegal migrants to vote in federal elections. That would be against the law. But the Congresswoman just said a recent Susan Rice memo suggests doing just that. Meanwhile, Biden's ongoing border crisis is having deadly consequences for America. ICE confirming to Fox News that the 23-year-old Salvadorian national suspected of murdering mother of 5 Rachel Morin in Maryland entered the United States illegally as a gotaway. And then in Houston, 2 Venezuelan nationals were arrested for killing 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungare, with one of them apprehended by Border Patrol crossing into the country last month and then released with a notice to appear in court. Joining me now with more is Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. AG, thank you so much for being here this morning. I want to talk about the potential for illegals voting in America. What can you tell us? You heard what Claudia Tenney just said. That is illegal.
I think she's absolutely right. I have no doubt that's the plan. If you think about what's happened, on day one, Joe Biden of his administration, not a week into it, not a month into it, he announced that he wasn't going to deport illegals anymore. Why did he do that? He wanted to signal to the cartels, start bringing people here. They profit from that. Bring them to Border Patrol. You don't have to hide, and we'll move them around. And as you know, you and I have been on the border together. We've seen people come across, and we've talked to them about what they're paying these cartels. The reality is the plan from the beginning, get these people here as fast as possible and get them voting. And I truly believe that the Congresswoman is absolutely right. And most states, only 3 states actually have laws that require proof of citizenship. So the rest of us are exposed. If they get a Social Security number and a driver's license, they're going to vote.
Now, there is a memo that's been going around at the border, and it's in Spanish, okay? And I want to show you this memo because at the bottom of the memo it says, don't forget in Spanish, don't forget to vote for Joe Biden. We need another 4 years of him. This flyer, the woman's name on the flyer is Gabriela Zavala, but she says she was shocked to see the memo because she didn't write the memo. What can you tell us about this memo? Because she says she didn't write the memo, and yet there's a memo at the border, which the illegals are reading in Spanish, and it says, go vote Joe Biden. What is this memo all about?
Yeah. Look, the memo speaks for itself. There's no doubt that this is the plan. It's to encourage these illegals to vote. They've given them phones. They connect them to Social Security numbers. They connect them to voting in these states. And their job really is to come here and vote. And they're putting them in the right places, the right states. We don't know where they're putting the illegals, but I guarantee you it's in the crucial states. Joe Biden can't win this election without illegal voting. And this is the biggest threat to our democracy, or our republic, that I think we've seen since who knows when.
This is unbelievable. You're the Attorney General. I want to know what you can do about it. We're going to take a short break and come right back with Texas AG Ken Paxton. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm back with Texas AG Ken Paxton. AG, you just said a moment ago that you do believe that the Democrats are trying to get the illegal migrants in the open border to vote in the presidential election. You're the Attorney General of Texas. What can you do about it? Do you have any advice for other AGs or governors to ensure that we actually see a fair and transparent election in 5 months?
Well, this is so controlled by the federal government because they're the ones that can issue the Social Security numbers. There's virtually nothing we can do unless the laws are passed that stop illegals from voting. That's what we need to do at the federal level to protect the states, because right now the states don't have those protections in place to stop illegals from voting. Only 3 states, as I said, have that. We don't have it. Our speaker, our Republican speaker, killed that bill. So even in Texas, we don't necessarily have a way to stop illegals from voting.
That's unbelievable. And Merrick Garland said he's going to vow to stop voter ID. That's one of his main points. And then we have to watch all of these murders taking place. What can you tell us about the status of the open border today, now that we know that American citizens have been murdered at the hands of illegal migrants?
As you and I have seen, people crossing the border, we've been down there together several times, and the numbers are staggering. And not only that, but the Biden administration is allowing criminals into our country purposely. These other countries are emptying their prisons. So we're getting the worst of the worst. These countries are getting rid of the worst of the worst. And that will have a dramatic effect for years and years to come as these people are spread around the country. We're going to see more and more random crimes, people dying, and that is directly goes back to Joe Biden allowing these people in. We even have a lawsuit trying to stop criminals from coming into this country, and the Biden administration is fighting us even on that.
That's unbelievable. AG, we're going to be watching your work. We so appreciate your time this morning. Texas AG Ken Paxton joining us this morning in Texas. That'll do it for us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.